Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Floss, back again with another video. And today we're going to do a quick first look at the LG G7 ThinQ. Now this is a review unit, so there's a lot of things that I can't talk about, such as pricing and availability, but I'll update y'all with that information as soon as I get it. Alright, so let's jump right into the specs. Now this phone is available in 4 colors. You got Platinum Gray, Aurora Black, Moroccan Blue, and Raspberry Rose. Now for the display, you got a 6.1 inch Quad HD Plus full vision display. That's an IPS LCD panel with a resolution of 1440 by 3120. Now that's 564 for the PPI Patrol. Now this phone features the super bright display. Now that's going to go up to about 1,000 nits. What does that mean? Well, the easiest way to explain this is the brightest phone display that you're going to see. Now I was at the LG event today and they had a little demo set up. So they had this phone and they had a blank space underneath a super bright light. So basically the idea was you take whatever phone you got in your pocket, put it on max brightness, put it under the bright light, and see which one is brighter, the LG G7 or your phone. Now I had 2 heavy hitters. I had the iPhone X and I also had the Mate RS. One phone over $1,000, the other phone over $2,000. This phone was brighter than both of those phones. So if you work somewhere outside in direct sunlight, and that's one of the things you're looking for when you're buying a new phone, add this to your list. Now the phone is IP68 dust and water resistant, and it's MIL STD 810G compliant. What does that mean? You could drop the phone and it's not going to break. Now for the processor, you got a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 with the Adreno 630 GPU. Top of the line specs. Now the phone comes with 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage and a micro SD card slot for expandable memory up to 400 gigs. Now the phone is running Android 8.0 Optimus Prime fresh out of the box, and it's going to be upgraded to Android 9 Prodigy coming soon. Now for the battery, you got a non-removable 3000 mAh battery that features wireless charge and quick charge 3.0. Now for the camera, on the rear, you got a dual setup. So you got 2 16 megapixel cameras. One is f1.6, the other one is f1.9. On the front, you got an 8 megapixel camera, that's f1.9, and both cameras feature wide angle lens photos. Now for the speaker, you got one bottom 5-inch speaker, but it does feature boombox speaker settings. We'll talk about that in a minute. You got DTS:X 3D surround sound, and you got your hi-fi 32-bit quad DAC. What does that mean? When you plug your headphones in, you're going to be blown away. Now, I'll talk more about the boombox setting in a minute. Now, of course, you get your fingerprint sensor and you're always on display. All right, so let's unbox this and see what it is. Now, keep in mind, this is a review unit. With the retail version, you might get some different accessories inside. Simple presentation. Here we go. Inside, you get your LG microfiber cleaning cloth. Here's your phone. Here's your SIM ejection tool. This is going to be a USB Type-C charging cable. Shout out to White Shoes. She's under the table, chilling and purring. USB Type-C. And this is going to be your Quick Charge 3.0 charger, charging brick. No books and shit, but like I said, review unit on deck. All right, so here we go. Let's wipe this down for dramatic effect. Whew. Now this is the Moroccan blue color. This phone is absolutely beautiful. You got Gorilla Glass 5 on the back and on the front. Here's your dual camera setup, LED flash, fingerprint sensor. Here's your power button. Let's hold that down. Power button popped up. you got the notch on the front. We're going to talk about that in a second. There's your 8 megapixel camera. You got a dedicated Google Assistant button. All right, so similar to the Bixby button, this is a lot better Google Assistant button. There's your volume up and down. Now, if you notice right now, no notch. Now I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to drop my information in, then we'll breeze through the OS. But before I do that, let me just say this. Now I posted a little picture on Instagram, a little cop or flop picture, and a lot of people were saying flop because of the notch. Well, you have the option to disable the notch. Then it's going to look like a regular LG phone. We'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, let me slap my information in and we'll come back. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, y'all, so we back in. Now, before we breeze through the OS, there's 2 questions that I want to answer. Number 1, if you got an LG G6 and you buy the LG G7, are you getting an upgrade or are you buying the same phone twice? Well, the answer is you're definitely getting an upgrade. Now, let's talk about that real quick. Keep in mind, when you upgrade your phone from year to year, you're not looking for major upgrades. You're looking for upgrades, whether they're small or big, it's still an upgrade. Now, if you're buying a phone every 2 or 3 years, then you're going to get major upgrades. So from the G6 to the G7, you got some small upgrades and some big upgrades. And let's talk about those. Number one, with the LG G7, you're getting a bigger and brighter display. Now, with the G7 reaching 1000 nits, that's the brightest display on the market, way brighter than the LG G6. So I call that a major upgrade. Number two, you're getting more screen to body ratio. Now, with the G7, you got 82.6. With the G6, you got 78.6. Now, y'all know they call me Petty Roosevelt. That's a petty upgrade, but small or big, an upgrade is an upgrade any way you look at it. Number three, you got a stronger built phone. Now, with the G7, you got Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and on the back. With the G6, you got Gorilla Glass 3 on the front and Gorilla Glass 5 on the back. So the phones are going to be a little bit stronger. Petty, but still an upgrade. Next, you got a higher resolution. Now, with the G7, your screen resolution is 1440 by 3120. With the G6, it's 1440 by 2880. Petty, but still an upgrade. Next, now this is a major upgrade. The processor. With the G7, you got the Snapdragon 845 and the Adreno 630 GPU. With the G6, you got the Snapdragon 821 with the Adreno 530 GPU. So think about that. You stepped up 2 different levels in the Snapdragon food chain. You went from 821 to 845. In my book, that's a major upgrade. Next, now this is another major upgrade, the camera. With the G7, you got 2 16 megapixel cameras on the back, you got an 8 megapixel camera in the front, and the cameras feature artificial intelligence. And we'll talk about that in a second. Now with the G6, you got 2 13 megapixel cameras on the back and a 5 megapixel camera in the front, no artificial intelligence. Now, what is artificial intelligence? Real quick. Now, I'm not going to really break that down until I do the full review, but watch any one of my Huawei Mate videos. Basically, what artificial intelligence is, when you pull out your phone and you take a picture of your cat or your dog, the computer's going to know that that's a cat, not a dog. It's going to know that the sky is blue and not a blue t-shirt. It's going to know the difference between green grass, green leaves on a tree, and green lettuce on your food. And it's going to automatically adjust the settings to give you the best photo. Now, I've been using artificial intelligence on my Mate phones for the longest. It works. It's not a gimmick. Let's keep it moving. Next, the speaker. Now, with the LG G7, you got a louder speaker, you got the boombox settings, and it features DTS-X audio. With the G6, you got a regular speaker that's a little bit lower. Petty, but still an upgrade. Now, here's another one that I find important, Bluetooth. With the LG G7, you got Bluetooth 5.0. With the G6, you got Bluetooth 4.2. Now, you got to keep in mind, in this day and age, everything is about Bluetooth. How many Bluetooth speakers you got, Bluetooth headphones, everything is Bluetooth. You want the strongest Bluetooth signal that you're going to get, so that's an upgrade for me. Now, I know what everybody's going to say. What about the battery? That's one thing that you're taking a hit. With the LG G6, you got a 3,300 milliamp battery, and the LG G7, you got a 3,000 milliamp battery. Now, on paper, that looks like the LG G7 has a worse battery, but you got to put it into perspective. Battery is not just a number on paper. Battery works in conjunction with your phone's processor. So the easiest way for me to explain that is, say both of these phones had 3,000 milliamp batteries, but one had a Snapdragon 821 and one had a Snapdragon 845 processor. The one with the Snapdragon 845 processor, even though they still have the same 3,000 milliamp battery, this one is going to last longer. Why? Because the Snapdragon processor is built to optimize battery. So the newer processors, the same one you're going to find on some of your newer phones, you're going to notice that you got a smaller size battery, but your battery lasts longer. Why? Because that processor is optimizing your apps, it's shutting down things in the background, it's running your phone better. So don't just look at it on paper, you got to look at it in conjunction with the processor. Now keep in mind, I haven't used this yet, so when I do the full review, I'll be able to give y'all a full opinion, but right now I don't think that battery issue is going to be a big deal. Now the next thing I want to talk about, what about the notch? Now, I did that post on Instagram, flop or not, and a lot of people were saying flop because of the notch. Now, I'm rhyming right now. Shout out to the bars. Let me show you. Now, look. Here's the notch. The notch is actually, let me see. Is it on? Let me turn this on. Let's see. Now, we'll use the knot code. All right, my notch is actually on right now. So you see I'm on Apple Music, the notch is on. Now the notch is one of those things that it could go either way, whether you like it or you hate it, but there's some simple fixes to get rid of that notch. Now you got to keep in mind, this day and age, a lot of phones, not just LG and Apple, a lot of new phones, look at OnePlus, look at Huawei, a lot of these new phones are coming out with the notch because people want more screen real estate. Now the notch, I'm speaking from experience, I hated it at first on the iPhone 10, but just like anything else, once you start to use it, you get used to it, and after a while, you won't even see it. And especially if you're like me and using black wallpaper, you won't even notice the notch. Here's my iPhone 10. You don't really see the notch. Then let me open it up. Now you see the notch. Now, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but let me show you what you could do with your LG G7. All right, so we'll go to Settings. Let's take it over to Display. You see we got the new second screen. So here's notch on and notch off. So we'll turn the notch off. We'll take it back to home. Now there's no notch. So let's open up an app. Let's go to Instagram. No notch. So you're going to lose that little notch area right there. You're still going to get your notifications and your time on the top, but it's just going to be a square phone. So I would definitely say if you hate the notch, don't let that be a reason for you not to buy a phone that has a notch, especially the LG G7 that gives you that option to turn the notch off. Now, here's the thing I was arguing about with somebody on Instagram whose petty level is equal to mine. You got an LCD display, so even if you put the phone on max brightness, you're still going to see the notch. Now, check this out. Whoever that was, your level of pettiness is excellent, and I respect that. But look at this. Even in the super bright light, you gotta have the phone this close to your eyeball to even notice the notch. If you're using a black wallpaper, you're not gonna notice that. And after you use the phone for a couple of days, you're not gonna care. All right, the good outweighs the bad with this phone. If you consider the notch bad, look at all the good things and brush that to the side. Now let's breeze through the OS real quick. First of all, you got your Google button on the side. Let's try that out. What's the weather for tomorrow? Right, there's your weather for tomorrow, pops right up. All right, so you got a dedicated Google button. We'll play with that more. There's some settings you could add to that and add different functions. So far as lag factor, no lag. Now, I know I'm rambling in this video, but there's something else I wanted to talk about real quick. The boot loop issue. Now, I've been going back and forth on Instagram because y'all know I reply to all my comments. I've been getting into these little Instagram battles all day long. People saying that I'm not buying an LG phone because I had a G4 and I had a boot loop issue. I'm never buying LG phones again. If you're going to have that logic, you can't buy any Samsung phones either. All right, if you're going to have that logic. Now, I had a G4. I did have a boot loop issue. And, nobody liked that. Everybody had G4s and G3s. You know what it was. But the same thing with your Galaxy S5 and your S6, you had maximum lag. So you got to give companies credit. They learn from their mistakes. Now with the G5, I didn't have any boot loop issues. With the G6, not one issue. Now I did that speaking wireless charge video the other day, and somebody commented when I tested out the charger, somebody commented, "You still using the G6?" And the answer is yes. This is my #1 go-to trap phone ever since day one. Use it every day, never had any lag on it, never had any boot loops, never had any issues. And it's the same thing with Galaxy phones. After the Galaxy S5 and X6, you had a little bit of lag here and there. Then with the 7, minimum lag. With the 8, minimum lag. And then with the Galaxy S9, they fixed that problem, no lag. I haven't had any lag issues yet. So you got to give companies credit. You got to base a company on their last product. You ever heard that saying, you're only as good as your last product? Don't worry about the LG G4. That was years ago. All right, we in 2018, we got new phones on deck. Back to the video. I had to get that off my chest. All right, let's go to the settings menu real quick. Now I'm downloading a bunch of apps in the background. Let's go to networks. And now, one thing about LG phones, packed full of settings. All right, so you got all your different settings. You got your LG AirDrive, you got Mirror Link, file sharing, share the different panels. Real quick, let me show you this. Let's check the fingerprint sensor. All right, fingerprint sensor works 100% of the time. Now you also got the NOT code. That's one thing I love about LG phones, NOT code. Let me show you how that works. You got double tap, you got your gestures. So double tap to awake the screen. Now here's my NOT code. Now I put a little simple one, just like that. Why is that important? Well, you got your fingerprint sensor on the back. You got your phone on the table at work. You're not supposed to be using the phone, but you want to check your text messages. Double tap on the screen, swipe up. When nobody's looking, you could just Tap it up just like that. Hold up, I wasn't even looking at the display. Open your phone. Now, I set a long not code, but you can set something shorter, set something easier. You can even set it all to one button. So this way now when you're doing your clandestine, checking your phone, tap it up just like that. If you got your phone in the car, on the dock, tap it up, open it just like that. You don't have to worry about face unlock. You don't have to worry about the fingerprint sensor on the back. Let's keep it moving. So far, nice and smooth. Let's go through some of the settings real quick. Oh, matter of fact, here's one I wanted to show you. Now your brightness. You got your brightness boost. All right, now you see I just hit boost. I can't let me see how can I phrase this. I can't stress enough how bright this display is. Matter of fact, an easy way to do this, let's pull out the LG G6. Let's put this on max brightness. Now look at this. This is 100% max brightness on the G6, boosted max brightness on the G7. Now I don't care what light I'm sitting underneath right now. You could clearly see that this is a bright display. Now that's going to be important to all my dudes that do construction, all my police officers, fire department workers, anybody that works outside all day like me. I'm outside in the sun all day long. Now you can clearly see your phone, viewing angles. That's a thing of the past. Now when I do the full review, I'll compare this to some of the other heavy hitters, but look at this. That's a major upgrade alone right there. Super bright. Let's keep it moving. Now you got your on-screen touch buttons. Let's go to general. Let's see. You got your floating bar. All right, so you can activate that if you want. Look at this. For extensions, you got gaming, context awareness, shortcut keys. Look at all of these settings. I mean, this video would literally take me 45 minutes to go through all of the settings. Here's your sound settings. Let's take it over to the camera real quick. Now, I can't go too deep into this, but we'll just see. Now, look, you got 4x3 or 18x9x9 fit the screen. We'll leave it on 4x3. Turn those on. Let's see the wide angle. Yo, all right, check this out. Look at that wide angle. Now, that's one thing LG phones are known for, wide angle. Right now, you see I got a bunch of boxes in the background. Let's hit the wide angle. Now you see everything. I'm going to read, look, here's the floating dock. Here's the floating bar right there. We hit, let's hit close. All right, so just like on your V series, you got the little dock right there. Put all your different apps. Now look, let me just wipe this down. Now this is a review unit. We're under NDA, so I can't really tell y'all if I like the phone or not. But I'm going to just say this. On a scale of 1 to 10, you know the rest. You know the rest. Now, when I do the full review, I'm going to go through everything. Wireless charge. Look at the always on display. Now, I just customized it a little bit. Let me wipe that down. I just customized it a little bit. I don't know if y'all can see that, but the name is in red. Y'all probably can't see it. The name is in red, but you got the time, the date, and you see I got some apps right there. So I'll double tap on that. Let's hit the fingerprint sensor, and it's going to open back up. Now, I don't have my Gmail set up, but you'll see how that works in a little bit. This phone, now it is a fingerprint magnet, but it's definitely beautiful. I definitely like the cameras being vertical instead of horizontal. You see, you kind of had that robot face. Now it looks more streamlined to everything that's out. Out of the 4 colors, I would say that raspberry rose, that one was nice. The silver's definitely a go, but this blue is badass. Now, one more question I got to answer. Somebody was saying, if this is an upgrade for the LG G6, it's a major upgrade. Yes. But what about for the V30? Now, I wouldn't consider this the successor to the V30. We'll see what LG has coming out. Maybe they have a V40 coming out. But a V and a G, those are 2 different phones. All right, so we'll stick to G on this one. All right, so this is definitely an upgrade to your LG G6. Anyway, I'm going to Florida tomorrow. I'm going to take this phone with me. I'm going to use this all day, every day. And when I do the full review, if there's anything that y'all want to know, y'all already know how I do. Hit me up in the comments and I'll let y'all know. But I'm going to tear this apart. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. Shout out to everybody rocking with me on Facebook, Foursquare, Twitter, Google+. Shout out to all the Google gangsters. I see y'all holding down that Facebook page. Shout out to everybody hitting me up on Voxer. And a special shout out to everybody rocking with me on Instagram. Y'all know that's where I'm at full time, 100% full throttle. And a special shout out to everybody rocking with the new stream on Sundays. Y'all already know, Stream Gangsters on deck. Get your drinks ready. No meat boys allowed. yeah, special shout out to everybody following me on Snapchat, Flossy_Carter, that's where I'm at. And a special shout out to the notification squad. I see y'all in the comment section early. #salute. Oh yeah, one more thing. I almost forgot. Fellas, ladies, say it with me. All y'all haters, all y'all trolls, close your eyes and picture me rolling. It's your boy Floss, I'm out. Deuces. Spock, one to beam up. Energize.